December 16, at the plenum of the Central Committee of Communist Party of Kazakhstan, it was announced about the decision of the Politburo to recommend Kolbin Gennady Vasilyevich for the post of the first secretary of the Communist Party of Kazakhstan. The party elite of Kazakhstan voted pro without any discussion and thus in violation of the party rules and status. The head of the republic was elected a person not associated with Kazakhstan and not knowing the local conditions and not even stepped in Kazakh territory before. This was seen as an insult to the Kazakh people and triggered a spontaneous protest.
17th-18th of December 1986, the youth of Alma-Ata took to the demonstration was peaceful. No anti-government slogans, the citizens were exercising their constitutional right. According to some sources, during the tragic events of December 1718, several demonstrators were killed and more than 200 were hospitalized, whereas injuries were received by more than 1,700 people. In the dispersal of the demonstration, there were super-shovel service dogs used. People were housed in the cold water, beaten, detained. Many of them were taken in trucks and left outside the city half-naked.
According to the evaluation of Supreme Council of the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic during the investigation of the events of December 86, the number of detainees was about 85,000 people. Repression began after the December events. 2 members were sentenced to capital punishment. 99 people were convicted, of which only 46 people were rehabilitated over time. For participation in the events of December, 787 people were expelled from the Komsomol. 52 people were thrown out from the Communist Party. 1,138 people received Komsomol administrative punishment. 271 students were expelled from universities. Hundreds of people were forced to resign from their job. 12 of the rectors of various universities lost their positions.
The main leaders of this event were hardly punished. For example, in this photo, students are listening to the verdict handed down to them from left to right. Tugilbay, Tashenov, Jambulbek, Tajrumayev, Kairat Raskulbekov, Kairigilda Kuzembayev. As main leader, Kairat Raskulbekov did not cry when he was sentenced to be shot. Instead, he took his brave in face and said, "Қазақ деген затым бар, қайрат деген атым бар, еркек тоқта құрбандық, атам десең атыңдар," which are really inspirational words. He was only 21 years old at that time.
In this tragedy, brave Kazakh youths as Yerbol Sapatayev, Kinjigul Moldanazarova, Khairat Raskulbekov, Lazat Asanova became the victims of the December uprising.
After Almaty, the event of Samgay, Tbilisi, Baku, and Vilnius continued. From this point of view, it's worth noting that the statement of the well-known human rights activist Bonner about the main role of the Almaty incident in the collapse of the USSR is quite justified.
Some call this event an accident, some call it rebellion. But we cannot absolutely say that it was either of these two, because it was a peaceful meeting without any aggression or movement against the head, so it's not rebellion. But we also cannot say that it was an accident due to the fact that it had a big effect on future events and it was really terrible for the youth of Kazakh nation.
December 86 greatly contributed to the growth of the national feeling of the Kazakh people, radically changed the Kazakh self-awareness, the concept of national pride and independence, states Abishki Klibayev in his article named dedicated to the 10th anniversary of the events of December 1886. And that is true. We will never forget this fact and we will learn it a lot from that.
In conclusion, the events of 1986 showed that all the declared changes touched the style and management techniques just a little, and they were still based on tyranny and repression. During the democratic changes in the USSR, youth peacefully stood for their rights and tried to prove justice without any attempts to attack or harm someone. But then happened what happened. And now we can say that this event became the crucial breaking point in the way of becoming independent Kazakhstan.